You know, it's truly amazing the lengths that people will go to in the attempts to try and hurt someone because that's what hurt people do. They hurt people. And it truly baffles me at how people tend to perceive things or hear what they want to hear when it comes to conversations. Instead of honestly sitting down, listening to understand, people just listen to respond. And that's where a lot of confusion can tend to come into place when it comes to having conversation and open dialogue with one another. A lot of people fail to understand or even realize that conversation, it can really go a long way and it can help solve a lot of problems and alleviate a lot of pain. Because 9 times out of 10, the ones who typically are the ones that cause you the most pain usually are the ones that you hold the closest, that you have high expectations from, that you place on that pedestal, being family, friends, and even relationships. And I'm speaking on this simply because the fact of the matter is I'm not even gonna lie. Truthfully, I've been homeless on and off for the last 3 years. And throughout my duration of time of being homeless, I've asked for help to some degree when it comes to family and friends, hell, the court systems, child support systems, and all of the above. And at the end of the day, as a man, it's like nobody truly cares until you either react in some way, shape, or form, or you decide, you know what, I don't deserve this and I don't want to be here no more, because no person should have to deal with the type of circumstances, the feelings, the emotions, the pain that comes about when you are separated from your child and you don't get the opportunity to be in their life. Even though you are paying child support, whether it's too much or not enough, at the end of the day, it truly does cause a person to feel some type of way. But more than anything, my situation, it's a part of life. It's something that's been going on for generations on generations on generations. And, like I said, I've asked for help on so many different occasions, from family, people that I believe to be friends, those people that I thought would be the ones to, assist me in my time of need. And, throughout these few years when I've been in my times of need and, verbally expressing that, hey, I could utilize some help. Every time I voice that opinion, folks tend to turn their back unless I got some money or unless I got something that I'm able to give to them. And then people wonder why I'm so quick to cut people off and stop dealing with people, because I'm the type of person, I will give someone the shirt off of my back only for people to breadcrumb me. And now that I've cut everybody off, I am more at peace, because I come to understand that I truly am my biggest commitment. Nobody has me the way that I have me outside of God. And it sucks, but it's a part of life. In all honesty, it truly is a part of life. It's sad that, my own mom went to the extent of kicking me out of her crib on the 23rd of December of 2025, 2 days before Christmas, simply because I'm trying to become financially stable. And it's not that she didn't understand my situation or even know my situation. She understood it. She just didn't care because I wasn't giving her what it was that she wanted. therefore she kicked me out, which is cool. It is what it is. She tends to believe that I view her as a bad mom when that truly is not the case. In all actuality, all I did was voice my opinions on how she was not present in my life as a kid, and that made her feel some type of way. Instead of her sitting down and having the conversation with me to understand where I was coming from, she got defensive and decided to kick me out of her place, which is cool. This is not a cry for sympathy in no way, shape, or form, because hey, I'm a grown ass man. I shouldn't be staying with my moms anyway, but it is what it is, you know. I thought that she would be more than willing to help me out, which that is the picture she painted, how she portrayed it to be. Whenever, you know, I first came back, she was so excited, as she claimed, and that's simply because I was giving her money. But as soon as the well ran dry, that light switch flipped, and I've been out on my own ever since. And it's crazy because soon after, I had a female. She was into me. Granted, I knew better. I should have never laid down with this woman, you know, while she allowed me the opportunity to lay my head on her couch for a few days. She caught me in a moment of being vulnerable, and I gave in. We slept with one another, and come to find out, she's in a whole relationship with someone that I know at that. And you know, whenever I confronted her about it, like, hey, I heard this and that or whatever, blah, 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 after the fact, she got defensive, got mad and upset, didn't want to have a conversation about it. Her first go-to was, hey, I need you to get your stuff and get out of my house. All right, cool. Not even a couple of hours later, going into the new year, ended up having a female, you know, that we both had mutual interest in one another, a black female at that. I've never really dated a black female, but I was reluctant to give this one right here the opportunity, and she fumbled the ball. She chose to allow somebody else to come and get in her ear and trick her out of her spot, when she could honestly just had a conversation with me to get to the truth of the matter, because I'm not an individual who lies about anything. I'm a straight open book. And then if somebody's speaking on me and my name, I'm gonna come to you and, you know, try and get to the bottom of it. We're gonna get to the truth, and we're gonna find out who's really lying. And I gave this person the opportunity to speak what was on their mind, allowing them to get it off their chest. And instead of them doing so, they chose to attack me and belittle me and berate me. And even then, I still took the high road and I turned the other cheek, only for this individual to allow their emotions to get the best of them within the next day or two. And they saw me walking with a female, a young girl at that, a girl that I viewed as my daughter, because in all honesty, this little girl could have, you know, been my daughter. She wasn't that young, but, you know, she was young enough for me to know, like, nah, for me to have that feeling like, nah, I couldn't, you know, partake in anything with you outside of, you know, being your friend and helping you out in a way in which, you know, she needed that help. And upon this female seeing me with this young lady, she tried to run me over. She allowed her emotions to take control of her, and she tried to run me and this little girl over, to the point to where, you know, the police had to get involved, and she ended up going to jail. All because she didn't know how to regulate her emotions, or to even be an adult and have a civilized conversation with me. So now she's got consequences and repercussions she has to face, simply because she chose to allow her emotions to take control of her, when all she really had to do was have a conversation with me. Same thing with my mom, and same thing with the female, you know, who allowed me to stay in her crib, but decided to kick me out because I made the conscious choice that, hey, I don't do third parties. If that's what you own, hey, you and your dude, y'all can keep that going. I ain't know that's what was going on, so hey, I'ma fall back. But simply because I made that decision, an individual decided to be petty and ignorant, which is fine. They have that right to. But it just goes to show, the lack of empathy that people have, the ignorance that people have, yet alone the pettiness and the grudges that people, hold. And the crazy part about it is all of these people are 30 plus years old and up, with the exception of the little girl who almost got hit with me. It's crazy. People will go to the extent of attempting to hurt someone that's already hurting to some degree, whether you know it or not. They still attempt to try and inflict more pain and more suffering on an individual, not knowing what it is that they are already going through within their life. And even still, with everything it is that I have going on in my life, I still chose to take the high road, to not let the projections get the best of me, or to even put me in the state of reacting versus responding in every single one of those scenarios. It truly is amazing to sit back and reflect on these things and, view it from a different perspective. Never in a million years would I have thought that this is how my life was going to be. Never in a million years. Not having a home, not having a vehicle, having to sit at my job all day, every day, simply because I have nowhere to go or nothing to do. Because I have no way around. It's cold as hell outside, hence the reason you see me with this jacket and this hat on. I don't have nothing. No family, no friends, no funds, no car, no crib. So, who is a person supposed to ask for help from when everybody that you would expect to be the ones to come and help you don't? Who do you ask? Who do you go to? Who do you call? Who do you talk to when you're constantly pouring out into other people's cups, but nobody is there to pour into yours? And then the first thing people want to say, once you realize that people are simply using you and you no longer will allow them to do so, first thing they want to make you out to be is the bad guy. Make you seem like, oh, you're crazy, or that you deserve the treatment it is that you've been receiving. Nobody deserves this type of treatment. Nobody deserves to be alone, to be homeless, to endure pain to a point to where they begin to, second guess life to an extent. I'm not saying it to, gain any type of sympathy or none of the above. I'm saying it so it can be brought to people's awareness. You never know what a person may be going through. On top of that, a conversation can go a long way, especially when it comes to clarity, mending fences, or even letting something go to be able to move on in life. People don't tend to think about these things until it's entirely too late. And once a person reaches that point to where it's like, you know what, I accept it, I'm washing my hands with it, I'm done with it, and I'm leaving it alone, you'll never hear from me again, you'll never see me again. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, let me try and make things right. No, it's too late. I've reached the end of my rope and I'm exhausted, truly exhausted, in more ways than anyone could honestly even imagine. But you would never know it because guess what? I never show it. I always keep a smile on my face and I'm always in a positive mood, projecting positive energy into the world. But the real question that I have for myself is, how long will this be able to last before I just decide that, you know what, enough is enough. I don't have it in me anymore to continue fighting the good fight. Because I've honestly been asking for some type of help in some way, shape, or form. And I have yet to receive it at all in any way, shape, or form. And that's cool. Because at the end of the day, when that time comes that God decides to bless me, and when I say bless me, when he decides to bless me in a way that will be phenomenal, out of this world, unbelievable, when he decides to bless me, those individuals who turned their back on me in my time of need, who acted as if, oh, they truly didn't care in no way, shape, or form, those are going to be the first people that come with their hand out acting as if they supported me and they were always there with me. And those are going to be the first people that I end up telling no to with no explanation, because they already know why or the reason behind me telling them no. So with that being said, be mindful of how you treat people, who you choose to use, yet alone the grudges you tend to hold against people for no apparent reasons. Tomorrow truly isn't promised tomorrow when it comes to anyone or anything. So remember that whenever you decide to get mad at someone for the smallest thing, or whenever you decide that, you know what, I'm mad and I don't want to have a conversation right about now, I'll talk to you when I'm ready. Remember that tomorrow is not promised. Remember that God can change any scenario at any given time. He can bless those individuals that have been ostracized, belittled, and treated some type of way. Those individuals that were last, he can move them to the front of the line. So remember that. Because those people that you shun and do wrong and attempt to try and isolate them, those typically are the individuals that God tends to bless simply because of their strength as well as their integrity. Because in the darkest hours of our life, when we are at our lowest of lows, those moments are the moments that show a person's true character. They really do. And no matter how bad I want to be mad, angry, and upset at the world, I have no reason to. I truly have no reason to. I choose to still forgive these people and move completely out the way so that they can enjoy their lives however they see fit. Because I know that at the end of the day, we all have free will. And with that free will, you get to pick and choose what it is that you want to do, no matter what the consequences, repercussions, or the rewards are. So I've endured all of my consequences and repercussions, even my karma at that. And I get this sensation, this feeling, this knowing within me that tells me, you know what? Things are truly about to change for me in my life. And when they do, I honestly can't say there's one person that I could see myself doing for in any way, shape, or form. Not one. So, it is what it is. Don't get mad at me, get mad at yourself. It takes two to tango. But see, me, I'm one of those people that's willing to put their pride and ego to the side in the attempts to try and mend fences or clarify things by having a conversation with individuals in the attempts to bring about a resolution. But not everybody thinks like me, so all I can do is allow them to do whatever it is that they want to do when it comes to their life. But whenever those consequences, repercussions, and that karma comes back on you, please don't seek me out for protection, for help, for guidance, for nothing. Because I'm going to tell you, same way like you told me, I ain't got nothing for you. We all go through problems. Toughen up. Take it like a man. Give it time. I'm going to give you back that same advice that was given to me. And I truly hope that that same advice, hopefully it does you more justice than it did me. At the end of the day, if it do or it don't, it's not really my concern. I truly don't care. So, it is what it is. I just felt the need to relay this message in advance before I end up hitting the jackpot, before my number or name is called, before my time comes. The answer is simply going to be no. Simple as that. Love and light. Y'all stay blessed.